Hey YouTube, how you guys doing? My name is Kyle, you know me as Dragonmar, and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be going over 5 mistakes that every noob makes and how to fix them. Now don't worry, if you make these mistakes yourself, doesn't necessarily mean you're a noob, but there definitely are some things that we can all work on, so I hope you guys enjoy. Starting off at number 1 is probably one of the most common mistakes you see from players who are just new to the FPS genre in general, and that's staring at the ground. So staring at the ground is sort of an extension of crosshair placement. And essentially what crosshair placement is it's just talking about where you have your crosshair aimed at all times. In most cases, you want your crosshair to always be aimed at headshot level. So what ends up happening is these newer players who aren't used to the game actually end up just aiming almost directly at the ground, obviously a little in front of them, right? They're not staring at their feet, but this is actually really bad for a few reasons. One of them is that you actually hinder your own vision vertically. I would not be surprised if it's possible for some of these people who aim at the ground for an enemy jet or something to actually jump out of their view range. I mean, that is astonishing to me. So please be careful with this. Now, how do you fix it, right? So essentially the goal here is your crosshair should be placed at roughly head height. Now, on places like ramps and slopes, it can be a little more difficult. You kind of have to know the map, but one of the great things about crosshair placement and about not staring at the ground is you sort of force yourself to learn the map and to gain what I like to call map knowledge. So the more you focus on where to aim, the more you increase your map knowledge, and the more you increase your map knowledge, the better you're going to be at placing your crosshair at the right spot. And remember, this is really important. Reflexes mean so much in a game like Valorant that you don't want to have to take time dragging your crosshair and your mouse across the universe just to hit a headshot, right? So if you can get your crosshair in the right spot, even milliseconds quicker, you're talking about, you know, hundreds of more kills over the course of playing this game, right? It's really important and a really good habit to get into to correct your crosshair placement. All right, mistake number 2 is force buying too often. So if you're actually wondering what I mean by force buying, you know, I understand some people might not know. So force buying is when you buy armor, weapons, utility, or some combination of them in what would be considered a suboptimal time, where sort of you or your teammates aren't able to purchase everything you need for the upcoming round. Forcing is typically done when you're in danger of falling behind, or the exact opposite when you have a huge lead and you're trying to increase it, and you can afford to, or if you're trying to take the enemy by surprise when they might be struggling with their economy or something of that nature. Now, forcing tends to happen a lot during the second round of the game. I don't know if you guys have played a lot, but in my games, this is when my teammates love forcing. We lose pistol round, and all of a sudden everyone's like, "Yep, let's grab a sheriff, let's grab some armor," and then we immediately lose the next round because the enemy team has SMGs and they're just playing smart. So it's sort of this huge problem that can happen where you actually, this is a term we use a lot in Overwatch, which is called snowballing. And what would happen is the enemy team would build up their ultimates, they would be able to sort of use them in really efficient managers, and they would snowball us. Same thing happens in Valorant, but with the economy, right? If you're constantly force buying every round, and eventually, right, the enemy team is just going to stockpile up that economy, and they're going to be able to buy like the rest of the game no problem. And you, on the other hand, are never going to get a full buy, right? You're never going to have your armor, your utility, your ARs, or your ops, or anything like that. So once you fall behind, it's really important to sort of cut this bad habit of forcing. So how do you do it, right? How do you fix this problem? First of all, I would make sure your team always saves in the second round if you lose a pistol. I don't see a reason for most players to be forcing on the second round. Particularly if you're looking at improving, you're probably already not in that top percentile of players who can really make it work. I don't think you're going to catch a lot of people off guard, so I think it's definitely worth saving for that second round and buying, or doing a full buy, I should say, on the third. Because remember, when you do a full buy on the third round, there's a good chance you killed a few people who bought the second round on the enemy team, and that means their economy is going to be a little bit weaker, and it should help you win that third round. Also, another good way is to talk to your team about strategy before you buy, before you force. One of the worst things you can do is sort of like silently do a force buy, because your teammates are going to be looking at you like, hey, why did this guy buy? Maybe I should buy. There's no communication. Half of you buy, half of you don't, and suddenly your economy is screwed up for the next 3 rounds and you're going to lose the game. And at the same time, make sure you're not force buying out of frustration, right? You need to make sure that, maybe you're having a bad game, but for the most part, if you're buying a sheriff armor every round, you're probably not helping your team and you're being more of a detriment than anything else. Number 3 is about poor time usage / not playing time. Now, remember, time is a resource. Just like in Counter-Strike, it's something that you can use to your advantage. Now, what if I told you that you can actually win rounds without killing the entire enemy team? Would you believe me? Or are you one of the people who likes to chase after the enemies every single round, and when you inevitably die and can't buy the next round, you just suddenly blame it on everything but your poor discipline? Well, let me tell you something, guys. You don't have to chase kills, and on top of that, you actually can play extremely smart around bomb sites and bomb plants. Now, as you know, there is a bomb timer, and that timer ticks down the second it's planted. You can use that time to your advantage. You don't have to take every fight. You don't have to push instantly. Sometimes if you're on defense and you have to defuse the bomb, it's good to wait a little bit, wait for the smokes to clear, develop a strategy. Or if you're on offense and time is running out, if you know someone is near the bomb, you don't have to peek. The audio cue in this game is very clear when someone touches the bomb. When you hear it, that's a good time to peek. And this sort of refers to playing time. When someone tells you to play time, they mean to take as much time off the clock as you can before you engage in a fight. Because the second you engage in a fight is the second that you can die and the second that you can lose the round. The longer you wait for that, the better the chances are they're not going to have time to defuse the bomb or to plant the bomb or some combination. So how do you fix this problem of not playing time, right? How do you sort of get out of this bad habit? Well, first things first, you have to stop chasing kills. You have to get that into your head that you don't need to force anything. You don't have to force fights. You can play smart. Second of all, you have to learn the maps and the bomb sites extremely well. It's really important to understand where you can stand and where you can position yourself on a bomb site, because it really helps you play time. Being able to quickly peek around a corner to check the bomb and then get back in, making sure no one's on it, is hugely crucial. You don't want to expose very much of yourself at all because it's so much easier for you to die. So understanding where you are on the map is extremely important for playing time. At number 4, we have not using your utility. Now, this sort of branches off into either holding on to it too long or not even buying it in the first place. Now, when I talk about utility, I talk about everything that's not your gun and your armor. I'm talking about all of your abilities. So for me, when I play a lot of Brimstone, I am buying smokes pretty much every round. I don't even care if it's a save round most of the time, because I always budget my money to make sure I can use smokes, because I find that even on save rounds, sometimes having my smokes is way more useful than any sort of pistol or any light buy I could have done. So what's the problem here? Why don't people tend to buy these? I think what happens is people get a little too fixated on making sure that they can buy in the next round, right? So when your team's going to do a full buy, that they sort of forget that the economy isn't that linear, and you can actually sort of spread your money out across 2 rounds very easily. Remember, you only need 3,900 to buy an AR and full armor. So anything above that, and you can start buying your utility, and you always should. It's really, really important that you understand this, that your utility, especially at higher ranks, is what's going to start separating you from the enemies. It's how you're gonna differentiate your skill by learning how to use your utility properly. So how do you fix not using it? Well, I think it's really important that you figure out your agent to their core. Understand exactly what you need to buy to be useful for your team. If your agent has some sort of smokes, learn how to use one-ways. If you have flashes, figure out the best places to flash your teammates into sites. It's really important that if you're actually trying to improve at the game, you're buying utility constantly, and also that you're using it efficiently during each round to help your team, even on save rounds. Trust me, a lot of these abilities are so cheap you can buy them every round. And coming in at number 5 is not trading kills. Now, this is a big one, and this is really important if you want to get to the higher skill levels. Trading kills refers to killing an enemy after they have just killed your teammate. Or if you die, your teammate killing the enemy that just killed you after you died. Now, why is this important and why does this matter, right? Because what happens is when an enemy is attacking someone, they have to focus all of their ability, all of their aim, their concentration onto that one enemy to kill them. During that time period, they are very vulnerable from any other player who can shoot them from a different angle. Remember, they have to transfer that spray onto you if they want to kill you quickly. That's very hard to do, which gives you a perfect window to be able to kill them. When you're taking a bomb site in particular, it is very important to trade kills. So how do you do it, right? How can you learn to trade kills? How can you fix this problem of not trading kills? First of all, communicate. Make sure your team knows when you're attacking. Have a buddy with you. Have someone follow you and say, hey, trade this kill with me, or hey, follow me in. Something like that will really help you sort of have that backup you need. Or on the flip side, if you see a teammate about to run into sight, or maybe a Phoenix is pulling out his flash, you know that guy is probably going to peek the corner. Be there to swing with him and trade that kill for him every time. Another way to fix this problem is by making sure that you understand sort of the positioning of your teammates. It's really important to understand and to be able to look at your mini-map and in a split second tell where everyone is. Get really used to paying attention to your mini-map, but only looking at it for brief periods of time. So this sort of plays into the fact that you understand the maps more. Once you gain map knowledge, you'll be able to do this, but you really should take just one glance at your minimap, know where your entire team is, and know who can trade kills with you. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something new. I can't wait for June 2nd when the game fully releases, and I hope to see all you guys then. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave a like on the video, comment for more. I'm definitely got some more content coming. I got a really cool series in the making as well, and I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy and peace.